exported my project file from Blender, and I'm ready to import it into my project file here inside of Maya. And to do so, I started off just by going to the File menu in a brand new Maya project file and choosing Import, which is going to bring open the Maya Import dialog box. And you can navigate to where you've saved your XBX file, your FBX file, or your object file onto your computer and hit that import button. And this is what I got. And things are looking pretty good here. Before we start into the retopologizing process, I always do a really great inspection of my model before I go any further, because it's important that that foundation be rock solid, because we're quite literally going to be building a new mesh on top of that foundation. So it's critical that we have everything kind of rocking and rolling the way we want it to. So a couple of things that I like to check just real fast. I like to check the scale. Now there's no real hard and fast rules as to how big this thing is going to be, but here's a suggestion. I wouldn't want it to be itty bitty in your scene file like this, okay? Don't have it be tiny, but you don't need it to be gigantic as well. So we don't want it to be like this, okay? I've learned that the tools inside of Maya work a lot better if, generally speaking, the starting point for our project file kind of fits within the default grid that you see down there inside of our project file. So let's go in real fast. Here it is. So this is a good place to begin. I'm in object mode here real fast. I've just fired off my transform tools. I'm going to jump back into the selection tool, and I'm looking at all of my channel box transform channels in here and ensuring that they all read 0 on the translate, 0 on rotation, and 1 on the scale. Mine's good, so I know that it's imported all of my information cleanly and correctly here inside of Maya. The other thing that I like to do is jump over into my Hypershade and just make sure and see and explore all the different materials that have come along for the ride, and things are looking quite good. If you have any kind of errant materials that are showing up in here, or if you got a zillion of them, now is the time to clean up this project file and fix these problems before they go any further. So I'm pretty happy with this. I just got the default Lambert shader applied to my object. Now if you wanted to, if you wanted a different one, you certainly could just grab that guy, middle click it onto the object, and reassign a material inside of the scene itself. Now that's something that you have to do from time to time. Sometimes when you import a project file into Maya, it disconnects the material tag between the surface and the material. So sometimes just reapplying the material real fast will solve that tag. It's easy to see because they show up as bright green surfaces inside of Maya. Okay, so generally speaking, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, if you'd like, and this is a great way to begin the entire model process, is to delete your history and freeze your transforms. If you've been going in and scaling this and rotating it, maybe it got flipped 90 degrees on accident, well, now is a great time to fix those problems, but any sort of a correction that you make to your base object needs to be frozen and that history deleted. That way, when we're retopologizing, it makes it a whole lot faster, okay? And it makes it an efficient system as well. So with that object selected, I'm inside of my poly modeling shelf inside of Maya. And of course, these two guys right here are gonna freeze the transforms and delete all the history that's been associated with this object right here in Maya. So let's freeze the transforms, delete the history, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Now we can start setting up our quad draw tool so that we can begin retopologizing our model right here in Maya.